You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys, I've said it before that the modern-day NBA player is weak. They're mentally weak, guys. They are triggered by the smallest things. We have seen NBA players get fans of the opposing team thrown out of the game. Why? Because they get triggered by any type of heckling. Draymond Green got some fans thrown out of the game, and he said that they were saying threatening things to my life. I was like, what? Really? Really? LeBron James, he's done it too. He's gotten triggered. I know he had a couple of white ladies. I believe it was a white lady and her boyfriend or whoever got them thrown out the game. And the rumor is that they actually said something about Bronny or something like that. And from what we actually understand, they called him like a bitch or something like that. He got triggered. Got them thrown out the game. But guys, you guys probably remember, though, that LeBron James actually trashed the city of Boston. He actually said, yeah, those people over there in Boston, they are racist. Now, I wasn't buying that at all because we know that LeBron James, he had a big-time rivalry with the Boston Celtics when KG, Ray Allen, the big three were there, and he had a lot of trouble beating them. I believe that LeBron James was just being weak. Weak because he's triggered and he can't accept anybody not worshiping at his feet. Now, the opposing team is not supposed to worship you. They're the opposing team. Their job is to heckle you. And I believe that LeBron James, since he had a lot of struggles with the Boston Celtics, that he just got triggered. And he called the fans racist without any evidence whatsoever. So that actually brings us to Dominique Wilkins, the Atlanta Hawks great. He actually played with the Clippers and also with the Celtics. Yeah, he was actually on with Vlad TV, and he had a few things to say about the city of Boston. And Dominique Wilkins, I'm pretty sure he's well aware what these new modern-day NBA players actually think. Everything is racist. And I do believe, guys, that it's pretty much a virtue signal. And you know what? Some of these guys may actually believe that. But to keep the race hustle going, they have to say, oh, it's racism. But yet, they actually don't offer any evidence at all. So let's get into it here, guys. Dominique Wilkins, right here. I lived in Boston 5 years after I retired. I didn't even know that. Dominique Wilkins refutes LeBron James's claims about prevalent racism. Now, Dominique Wilkins is 63 years old. I can't believe it, guys. The human highlight reel, man, that dude was amazing. He's a great basketball player, man. The dunk contest, man, he was one of the best dunkers we have ever seen. But let's go ahead and get into this, guys. Many NBA players, including LeBron James, have accused Boston of being a racist sports town. Recently, while appearing on Vlad TV, former NBA star Dominique Wilkins disagreed with those takes. And I know what some of the wokes are going to say. Well, Bill Russell said that Boston was racist. Bill Russell actually played in Boston when we actually had a bunch of racism in the country. You're talking about the 1950s and 60s. We don't live in those times anymore. We don't. I don't believe that there's actually widespread racism out there. But the wokes, like LeBron James, the woke athletes, they want you to believe that. Remember, LeBron James, his house in L.A., in Brentwood, supposedly had a racial slur, even though nobody actually saw any evidence whatsoever. Remember, his people cleaned it up even before the police got there. And he wasn't even in L.A. at the time. He was still with the Cavaliers. So there was no evidence whatsoever. The story disappeared. I believe guys like LeBron James, they want to create racism where it does not exist. And I believe that's a problem. I also believe that is pretty dangerous here. So we got a clip here, guys, of Dominique Wilkins here. And he said he never experienced any racism in Boston. He played there. He lived there 5 years after he retired. And he never experienced any racism whatsoever. And we know guys like Dominique that, they're going to be actually living in the affluent areas, by the way. Not going to be living in the inner city at all. So let's go ahead and listen to this clip of him on Vlad TV. Let's roll it.
Those fans.
Okay, so you're playing for the Clippers, and then you get traded to the Celtics.
Actually, I was a free agent. I decided I didn't want to go back to the Clippers because it was a mess over there at that time. And so going to the Celtics was a class organization, and I was received very well. And let me tell you, the reason why I went to the Celtics is Red Auerbach. It came to Toronto. I was on Dream Team 2. And he said, look, you can go anywhere you want, but I would love to see you in the Celtics uniform, which I thought in a million years I would never be in a Celtics uniform, but it was because of red and how you turn red down. And so that's the reason why I went to the Celtics.
Right. I mean, the Celtics themselves are a legendary team. But Boston, you've heard some stuff about it. You know what I mean? Like I've heard a lot of players, that I've interviewed, like Gilbert Arenas, would tell me about the racist stuff that they would get yelled at, by Celtics fans.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. When you're in that arena, especially during those times, anything and everything goes. Ain't nobody care. People say what they want. But
see right there, Dominique is an old school guy. Anything goes when you're on the opposing team. But let's continue.
Living in Boston, I lived in Boston 5 years after I retired. So it was, I really liked it a lot. I lived out in the suburbs, a place called Dover, Mass, out near Wellesley, and I was treated very well, very well. And so for me, I didn't see any of that personally.
Yeah, he shut that down really, really fast right there. But of course, race hustlers like LeBron James, they need to experience racism any and everywhere. And this LeBron here actually talking about Boston right here. It says here, the Lakers star made headlines in 2022 while talking on his show, The Shop, with his disparaging comments on Boston. He called out the city for its racist chants and vulgar comments from Celtics fans during games. James was asked which NBA cities he did not enjoy playing in. Boston was his first answer for one reason. Quote, they are racist as F, James said. James also recounted the story of a fan pouring a drink on him while walking into the tunnel. The incident occurred in 2012. Guys, a drink getting poured on you doesn't insinuate racism. Now I'm not saying that fans should actually do that, but Boston, man, they can get pretty wild out there. But that has nothing to do with racism. We've seen other players have drinks poured on them, that kind of thing. Doesn't mean that it's racist, man. These modern day NBA players, man, they are just triggered. They're mentally weak. LeBron James has been called out for his mental weakness. Remember, against the Mavericks in the NBA Finals, boy, he just completely checked out. That definitely has destroyed any conversation of him actually being the GOAT. He's not the GOAT. Only to guys like, Shannon Sharp or Nick Wright. They're the only ones that actually say that. But do they truly actually believe it? Maybe so. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we will catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.